We are live. We'll wait for some folks to join me. Hmm. All right. We'll get started in a second. Appreciate y'all tuning in on this late evening. It is September 16th. And it's been a while. I've missed coming on. But we got some important things to discuss. And so I was feeling really good today. Energy was high. So I wanted to get on and share my energy. Let's see here. Okay. I'm checking up on my IG. I believe everything is smooth over there. All right. So tonight, I want to go over some business. We'll get into the equinox, and we'll talk about one of my favorite subjects, one of my favorite elements, substances of the planet, and that's salt. All right, so let's get into it. So big news: I have secured my dates for Jamaica 2025. We'll be putting out a post on my social media. Raw Food Retreat. I'm doing 2 different weeks, January 5th to the 12th, and then the 14th to the 21st. So I hope that you can join me. Go ahead and visit my website. It's not up yet to secure your spot, but it's going to be great. This past year we added a guided meditation element to it, which was really powerful and explosive. Of course, we have the yoga. We're on the Caribbean Sea, and of course, I'm teaching classes, and we're eating the best food ever. So it's a great reset for the new calendar year, and I just wanted to share that with y'all. I don't know if I'm on live. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't on live, my Instagram. So I knew something was off there. So I'm not gonna go ahead and repeat. So yeah, I just went on live Instagram. Again, just want to repeat. I am doing my annual retreat coming up next year. January is the dates, so please visit my website. It is not up yet, but it will be up this week. All right. So today, let's get into the equinox first, and then we'll talk about my favorite topic, or one of them anyway. With the equinox, so we have our equinox coming up. Equinox is Really simple. It's a shift, and we're going from obviously summer into fall, but on a planetary level and how it affects us in terms of our body, in terms of our health, it's a definite shift, and it's something that it gives us an opportunity to have our reset to prepare for these next 3 months. The energy specifically, we have our sun moving away or further away from us. So we're at an equal standpoint where now, if we look at the earth in relation to, we look at the sun in relation to the earth, we have the sun basically moving further and further away from us. And what that creates is basically a lessening, a darkening of sorts, which will have an impact on us in terms of our energy, our vitality, and all of the daily functions. It is a great time. It is probably my second best time of the year to do at least a 3, 4, 5, 6, or up to 7 day fast. And we'll get into that. But every time around this year, people tend to fall ill. And that is the energetic shift that people are undergoing. We're all affected by it. And again, like I said, it is a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to really begin anew, because we have the winter solstice coming up in December, and that is the optimal time. And our fall equinox is our second best optimal time to really take advantage of this seasonal shift. So, if you're local here in this area, Washington, in the DMV, I'm sure y'all know, I am, I've been doing this for a long time, providing the juices, and it's a great time to do the best for your body. This is the best thing that you can do for your body temple, for sure. All right, so I want to really move into our subject of this evening. I've been thinking about this for a long time, and I really want to present. Often, if you're familiar with my content and the way that I explain things, the way that I sort of present them, I love to offer a viewpoint that you may not necessarily always come across. Certainly in the field of knowledge and as it relates to health, you have your quote unquote experts who are researchers largely. Uh, Maybe they have experience. Maybe it's regurgitating a lot of information. Um, my approach is one where I really trust my intuition. I trust my experience. I really try to be an independent, intuitive thinker when it comes to everything related to life, but especially to health. And the subject matter of salt has been something that I've always questioned, in terms of it being something, because we all know that it's been demonized. It's been something that we've been taught and drilled upon that we should avoid and limit, as if, and of course we know the main disease chronic disease that is a result of a supposed high salt intake is high blood pressure. Okay, so when we're thinking about salt, first we have to understand uh, the body function, the whole body function. And if we look at our body, if we understand how the body functions. The body functions, we are an electrical device, an electrical um, supercomputer. I mean, we're even whatever, however you want to describe it, we're electrical, and everything works from the electric body. We have this energetic electric charge running through all parts of the body, and the system responsible, which is the most important system in the body. This is where health begins. This is also where disease begins. Is the nervous system. The nervous system is the most important system in the body. When we think about the nervous system, again, this is where health begins, but also where disease begins. The first stage of disease, or I should say toxemia, is to become innervated. And I know that's not a term that is used or utilized in certainly not in any allopathic Western medical schools of thought. Um, to become innervated is when the nervous system has been affected in a negative way, and this largely comes from bad lifestyle habits. Again, it is the first stage. It doesn't necessarily relate to any symptoms or any type of illnesses for that matter, but it is the first step towards all of those things. Okay. So when we understand that we're electrical beings first and foremost, and that the electrical body is pretty much the nervous system. Okay. So with that being said, we understand that we're electrical, and we understand that the nervous system is that system that governs everything that we do, from and all the internal organs, from the brain, the heart, the liver, the intestines, and of course the extended body in terms of the extremities. We have nerve endings from our hair molecules all the way down to our feet. Everything is related to the nervous system, okay, or connects to that nervous system. So, we know as of late, if we understand that now we want to have, because one of the things that most people complain of is, let's say they have low energy. So I will reframe that and say you have low electricity. You don't have a lot of electric vitality going on. If you are sapped for energy, your body is not functioning. You're functioning on a low level of electricity. Now, how is it that we can reverse that? How can we increase the electricity in our bodies? Now, I want to say that I want to say that in terms of increasing the electricity, obviously that doesn't mean that it's got to come in the right form, obviously. Obviously, these devices, we got Wi-Fi, we got cell phones. These are all EMFs, which have a negative effect on our vitality and our health. So we have to really be intelligent, and we have to be diligent in giving giving the body the proper form of electric energy that it needs, and it needs to come largely in the form of electrons, the negatively charged particles, the EMFs, the Wi-Fi's and the cell phones and all of the things that bombard us, even our electrical, all of our electrical appliances. These are all having a negative impact on our health. I mean, there hasn't even really been um, extensive studies on the short-term and long-term effects, especially on our youth, as far as the electrical energy that the negative electrical energy. And I don't mean negatively charged particles, which is the proper way that we should be receiving our electrical energy. Okay, so again, understand it's the nervous system. We're an electrical vehicle. This is something that I wear. This is a shungite, and I'm not even sure if it works, but I do that to protect myself. I'm sure it can't hurt, uh, because we have to look. I mean, this is a risk. Everything is a risk reward, and the reward for me wearing a shungite and have like a shungite uh, thing on my phone. I can't lose. I can only gain. Now, does it work? I don't know, but it can't hurt. So, with that being said, one of the main things is like, how do we get those negative charged particles? Because all of those things that I mentioned that have a detrimental effect on our body temple are positively charged particles. So we need the negative charged particles to provide that energy. Okay, so one of the best ways is to eat antioxidant foods. These foods are called antioxidant because they have a negative charge. One of the best antioxidant negatively charged foods is coconut water. In fact, most of your fruits and vegetables are going to have a negative charge. Coconut water is probably tops on the list. There is a list that I believe is called the ORAC, or ORAC. Y'all can Google that. There's a list of the antioxidant level of foods. It's a lot of spices that are at the top of the list. Some nuts are there. Obviously, some fruits. Obviously, we all know the berries are going to come correct, but something like coconut water is really, 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 really key. My whole book, the book that I wrote when I published back in 2012. This is all about coconut water, how it really changed my life. It really changed the whole game. Starting on raw foods back in 99, 2000, and began doing water fasts. So I'm gonna bring this back to salt because I'm thinking, but I want to get on this negative charge because the negative charge is everything. So again, coconut water, and what really separates coconut water from plain water? Well, that's what we're talking about tonight. It's the salt. Yes, coconut water has a natural salt content. Um, what's another way we talked about? Did we talk about grounding? I don't know if we talked about grounding or earthing, but basically, when we touch the earth, that is another way. No, we didn't talk about grounding. That is the other primary way that we can increase the negative charge in our bodies is to touch the earth. At the very minimum, it may be difficult to go barefoot. Obviously, if we're out and about, if you're not out all day barefoot, which 99% of us are not, um, you are not receiving the earth's negative energy, the earth's negatively charged particles that is impacting your health in the most beneficial way. Okay, so at the very minimum, order you a pad where you plug into that ground socket, and you should be sleeping on a earthing mat. At the very minimum. That is I mean, I can't stress the importance of doing that. Okay, I've been doing that for years. Um, so what role does salt? I want to really pivot to salt, and I touched on it with the coconut water. When we think about salt, and I say salt may be the most important element for your health and vitality. There was an experiment that I watched with salt, and how salt was able to help conduct electricity. And the more salt, basically, it was showing you had plain water, you had water with sugar, and water with salt. And the more sugar that was added to the water, you had a light bulb which had some nodes to show the electricity, to show how bright the light. So when you dip the water in the salt water, the light bulb was strong. And then when you dip the nodes in the sugar water and you added sugar to that water, it weakened the brightness of that light. So in a sense, essentially what we can take from that is that when we have a proper salt content in our body, everything is going to work better. Everything is going to work better. These salt-free diets, to avoid salt. Again, I started this talking about how the body is electric. This is an electrical device, and the purpose of salt is to provide the framework so that the electrical energy can flow better. If we don't have a proper amount of salt in our body, the heart is not going to work as good. The digestion is not going to work as good. Your thoughts, your energy, you're going to be low energy because you don't have the proper salt or the amount of salt in your system necessary for your body to run optimally. Salt is something we should not avoid. Now, the next question, or the next thought is like, okay, well, does that include all salt? Of course not. Just like oils or fats, sugars, water, all of these things we need, and we need them. The difference is are we taking them in the right proportions and in the right form? And that's always the thing. I say it all the time. We need fat, sugar, salt. We need all those things. All those things that become demonized, but especially salt. I mean, let's think about, they say the body is 70% water. Well, that's a half truth. The body is 70% salt water. The earth is 70% salt water. We are salt. We Life on the planet, our life wouldn't exist without salt. So when you're drinking saltless water in a salt body, what are you doing? You're diluting your electrical energy. You're drinking empty in no energy, no vibrational fluid for your quote unquote thinking that you're getting hydrated, drinking half gallon, a gallon of empty energy. Another dangerous thing that you can do is you're drinking empty fluid and you're buying it. You're spending money on this fancy bottled, and they want to call it spring water, reverse osmosis, distilled water. I want nature to have something to do with the water that I drink. One of the things that I also discovered, because the coconut is clear. The better tasting coconuts have a higher salt content. And with something like watermelon, everyone can agree that there's some difference between a seeded watermelon and a seedless watermelon. And we know the seedless watermelon is not quite right. It doesn't taste quite as good as the seeded watermelon. Well, what's the difference? The difference is the seeded watermelon has a higher salt content. See, when you're eating a seedless watermelon, it tastes sweeter. It doesn't have that salt energy to balance the sweetness. And you taste it with the seeded watermelon. So there's just an assault on all of our food to remove that precious mineral salt content, because that is the essence of it, of our lives, the life of the indigenous pure food, and of course the planet itself. Salt, I put it right. Obviously, when we look at the pecking order of of uh of life itself, it starts with the breath. We start life with the breath, and the last thing we do is breathe. Number two, I put light, as in the sun. I put that above food and water. But so we got we got the breath, we got the light, and at number 3, I put water, but I put salt right next to it. It's 3A and 3B because it's not just water. That water got to have some essence, some energy, because if we're drinking coconut water, we're drinking watermelon juice, we're drinking cucumber water. This water has structure. This water has a salt content that allows our nervous system to operate effectively and efficiently. One of the things that is important to understand too is that people do saltwater flushes, and I never understood, like, why. How is it that if you drink salt water, it will actually produce a bowel movement? It will allow your bowels to move. Again, the salt is activating that digestive energy. It's allowing that energy to work better. It raises the vibrational energy throughout the body. We are made up of salt. We came here in salt water in the amniotic fluid, aka the urine, which is also another salt water fluid. So when we think about salt and we think about electricity, one needs the other. And in addition to the fluids, obviously, now let's pivot to the foods. Now, of course, we want to use the best salt available. And I think I have, yes. So one of the best salts that I like, I trust this. It's called Real Salt, and it's from Utah. That is, they have salt lakes out there, unrefined. I trust it. I love the taste. I've been using it for decades. I don't trust the pink Himalayan salts. Some of those taste suspect, and come to find out that there are the Himalayan salt is not even coming from the Himalayas. Celtic Gray Mineral Sea Salt is another good one. And that's about it. I'm sure there's some other reputable companies and brands doing some righteous salt, but yeah, the real salt is what I like. I use that in my food, and yeah, I mean, look, salt is the deal. We need salt. If we I don't know if you've ever heard of marathon runners actually dying while in competition because they drowned themselves drinking too much saltless water. Again, we are salt, and it is good to ingest salt 100%. So that's my message for today. I'm going to continue to expand on this topic. I know it is late. We have gone into the new day. It is past midnight here in DC. Once again, um, I appreciate y'all for tuning in live. If there was any questions, I don't see any comments or questions. I will be if you're here, I do plan to be at A Street Festival, vending the raw food and the fresh juices and the green coconuts. I got some beautiful coconuts, perfect water, perfect flesh in the coconuts. So I hope y'all come out and support. And of course, in January of 2025, I got 2 weeks, 2 weeks of the, you can spend 1 week or 2 weeks with me at Jackie's on the Reef in the Grove, Jamaica. I haven't posted the details, but I will be posting it later this week on my website and on my social media channels. So definitely check me out there. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to be expanding in future streams. I really wanted to do a formal presentation with slides and really bring that energy and that information knowledge. But I'm so busy and so preoccupied with life itself. It would be, who knows when it would happen. So really, I just wanted to come off the top and just share my thoughts and really plant those seeds about salt. Just give you another perspective, alternative perspective, and in a way that can benefit your life. All right. Well, again, for the algorithms, please share this information, like and subscribe, follow, etc., etc. Comment. It helps me out. It helps in terms of the algorithm, and I appreciate that and love that. So once again, do your fast for the equinox. We all need to be doing at least 4 to 5 days, optimally 5 or 5 to 7. We want to get past that 3-day window and really get deeper into our electric water, aka fresh juice, aka coconut water. And actually, I just wanted to say, this is why you can drink coconut water. I always wondered, coconut water will stimulate a bowel movement because of the salt content in the coconut water. It's not even the fact that it's living, even not in its live form. You can drink the pasteurized coconut water and it will still produce a bowel movement because they pasteurize it. Don't mean they take the salt out of it. It's that salt still has that energy, or it's not the salt has the energy can flow. It's like the salt provides the tracks for the electrical energy to flow. If we don't have no salt, we don't have the terrain necessary for the electrical energy to flow. So that's my word for this evening. Again, appreciate y'all tuning in, and would love to well, I just can't wait to see y'all next time. And I'll be posting more, usually my seasonal flow. With the summer months, I'm not so much active, but as the weather changes and I'll have more time, this is my slower months coming up. I'll be posting more. And so again, one love, appreciate y'all, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.